They say you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. Well, Karl Anthony Towns is the rare superstar who started a hero, became a villain, then waded through the gates of hell, and is now living his best life in basketball immortality. Think about it. This dude went from being called soft as baby shit to being called the Wemby stopper and being the most important playmaker on a championship team. The best part of all of this? Karl Anthony Towns did it by giving a middle finger to everyone who doubted him, from teammates, analysts, even the NBA itself. This is the rise, fall, and rise again of Karl Anthony Towns. Let's talk. Karl Anthony Towns was always a basketball unicorn. That's why they drafted him number 1. And from the get-go, Karl Anthony Towns was killing it in the NBA. He was fulfilling the number 1 draft expectations. But then, people forgot that he was playing in Minnesota. And so, despite individual accolades, Minnesota wasn't doing a whole lot. They just became known as a team with a lot of young guys, but no real potential being realized. But truthfully, the NBA world was in absolute awe of what Karl Anthony Towns could do for his size. I mean, this guy is an offensive nuclear weapon. He can shoot the 3, he's huge and 7 foot tall with great post moves and a soft touch around the rim. Plus, as he showed over his years, he's a great passer and has a very high basketball IQ. But like always in life, when you get the highest of highs, it's usually followed by the lowest of lows. And Minnesota, being excited about their potential, then got a veteran presence to help the rookies along. Or should I say, help. Minnesota traded for a disgruntled Jimmy Butler. And even though Minnesota actually got to the playoffs with Jimmy Butler, Karl Anthony Towns, and Andrew Wiggins, something was off. And then the practice happened. And who better to tell it than Karl Anthony Towns himself?
We had practice. We had that game. And then they ended up winning the game. I think they got a last second shot to go in. So it was like a quick little scrimmage, whatever. And then I remember the whole thing happened when he's screaming at the people and everything. I need me, walks off. I guess practice is over.
That story will never get old in a lot of ways. I mean, Jimmy Butler pointing at his Rolex and saying, y'all can't win without me, with the third stringers, and beating on Cat and Wiggins. That'll never get old, and it's pretty hilarious. But let's be real for a sec. He was a young guy in a practice getting called out by one of the most toxic NBA players that's ever existed. I mean, if we look in hindsight, what has Jimmy Butler done since then? Oh yeah, worn out his welcome with every other team. But as it goes in the NBA at the time, Jimmy Butler was a respected veteran who had pushed Minnesota Timberwolves to the playoffs. He was getting all the credit. And then he has this outburst about Karl Anthony Towns saying he was soft, and same about Wiggins. And it took a life of its own because it was said by Jimmy Butler and because Karl Anthony Towns was on the Minnesota Timberwolves. But let's stop for a second. What was Karl Anthony Towns' exact crime here? Was it playing Call of Duty too much? Was it not being angry and wanting to win at all costs like Jimmy Butler? But maybe he did want to win. Maybe he just expressed it differently. But we know how toxic sports can get. This narrative started following Karl Anthony Towns around everywhere he went. Whether it was Shaq and Chuck saying he was playing too soft, whether it was Jimmy Butler again confronting him in the bubble saying he was soft as baby shit, or just constantly underachieving when the time came, it became almost like Karl Anthony Towns was overrated or a flash in the pan. And that's why when they drafted Edwards soon after, everyone said this was Anthony Edwards' team. And to that notion, despite Minnesota doing pretty darn well with both Cat and Anthony Edwards, Cat got shipped off to the Knicks for Julius Randle and a couple other dudes. Literally kicked out the back door, massively disrespected. And again, for what exactly? Let's not forget the fact that This guy seemed to never have an ounce of good luck on his way. He lost his mom in COVID. He almost lost his dad. He himself got COVID. Imagine, and while all this is happening, everyone's saying, oh well, Karl Anthony Towns a bitch.
What do you make of what you've seen from Cat in what is an all-star year, but not the all-star performance we're used to seeing?
As the reigning supreme leader of the Big Man Alliance, I can say this. And I would say this to his face if I was his teammate. He's playing soft.
He can't play. He's washed up. He's overrated.
And I want to be very careful how I phrase this, because I know the internet, the stupidos on the internet gonna. To me, he don't know how to play basketball.
What?
Also, Karl Anthony Towns did little to help himself when he declared himself the greatest shooting big man of all time before having done anything in the league that allowed him to say that. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta keep your mouth shut, even if you're a nice guy, Karl. Think about this. This accusation started in 2019, before Butler went to the Heat. Jimmy Butler has already come and gone from the Heat. 7 years of abuse. 7 years of being called soft. And again, in New York, when it first started, Karl Anthony Towns became the scapegoat. When they choked against the Indiana Pacers, Karl Anthony Towns was the one getting the most of the blame. Again, he wasn't playing in the post enough. He wasn't showing up in the playoffs. He was becoming a playoff liability. All of those things. But just because a guy is super nice and kind and zesty and weird and super talented doesn't mean he isn't a dog. And Karl Anthony Towns just kept working. And fast forward to the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Knicks are actually down 2-1 to the Atlanta Hawks, which will be forgotten in the annals of history. But that's why I'm here, Big V, to deliver you violent NBA takes. There's a lot of basketball YouTubers, but none delivering it with the violence that I will. So if you want more content like this, please smash that like and subscribe buttons and join the small but mighty Vihan Victor army. The Knicks are down 2-1. CJ McCollum has become the second coming of Michael Jordan, and Stephen A. Smith is calling for heads to roll on national television.
It's going to be another head coach in New York City if they lose this series. Several players are going to be gone from New York City. Y'all lose this game. Y'all go ahead and lose this game. Y'all go ahead and lose this series, New York Knicks.
Guess who stepped up to save Gotham City? Catman. Yeah, no. All jokes aside though, it was Cat who said his role had to change and that he had to, instead of just being a scorer, had to become the playmaker, the hub of the offense. And guess what? The Knicks went 15-1 after that. Coming into the NBA Finals, literally everyone on planet Earth and whatever planet Victor Wembanyama came from thought that he was going to eat Karl Anthony Towns' lunch. And guess what happened instead? Karl Anthony Towns became the alien hunter. While Jalen Brunson was deservedly the MVP and the captain, the most important player of this championship run was Karl Anthony Towns.
Everything he's done in this half offensively has been with aggression, but it's also taken time to read it. You've seen him step back for a three.
Not only for his offensive evolution, but for what he did in the finals against Victor Wembanyama, one of the most hyped players since probably LeBron James. Every single person thought Karl Anthony Towns was gonna be a footnote. And instead, he exploded the scene. He rose up from the ashes with force. And not only did he remind the NBA world how unbelievably talented he is, but he showed he has the one thing that sets players apart. And that is grit and grind. Unwavering self-belief. As much as I hated seeing the freaking Knicks win, it was downright impressive what Karl Anthony Towns did. And you know what? I was there for the rise. I was there for the fall. And I am here for the rise again. And this time, no one can take it away from Karl Anthony Towns. Bravo. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. That's the end of the video. Please hit like and subscribe so I cannot be broke anymore.